of applause. It's my privilege to welcome the distinguished dignitaries to the dais. Our guest of honor, Shri M. Nagaraju, Secretary DFS, Shri M.V. Rao, Chairman IBA, Dr. Anish Shah, President FICCI, Shri C.S. Shetty, Chairman SBI, Shri Sunil Mehta, Chief Executive IBA, and Madam Jyoti Vij, Director General FICCI. I request everyone to join me in welcoming our guest of honor and other dignitaries on the dais with a huge round of applause. Thank you, dignitaries. Ladies and gentlemen, we are extremely honored to have Shri M. Nagaraju, Secretary DFS, with us. May I now request Shri M.V. Rao, Chairman IBA, and Dr. Anish Shah, President FICCI, to kindly felicitate Secretary Sir with Green Certificate. This certificate signifies our Go Green initiative. Thank you, sir. May I now request Shri M.V. Rao, Chairman IBA, to welcome our guest of honor.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It's a matter of great honor and immense pleasure that we are joined today by Shri M. Nagaraju, Secretary, Department of Financial Services, Ministry of Finance, Government of India, in the inaugural session of FIBAC. Many thanks, sir, for accepting our invitation to grace the occasion as guest of honor and deliver keynote address. Shri Nagaraju is an Indian Administrative Service Officer belonging to 1993 batch. He did post-graduation from the University of Hyderabad. He has served at state, national, and international levels in the areas of public order, revenue, development administration, tribal development, finance, international economic relations, industries, commerce, and healthcare. Sir, your presence in this annual conference of IBA and FICCI, amidst of your busy schedule, is a source of great inspiration. This is a joint conference of two associations, one representing the corporate sector and other representing the banking sector under the brand name of FIBAC in entering into its 19th year. This event is a leading event of the banking sector and corporate sector and embraces a lot of importance for the stakeholders. I welcome once again other dignitaries on the dais and all the participants to this conference. The theme of this year, Banking for Vikasit Bharat, aligns with India's goal of becoming a developed nation by 2047. Achieving this will require a concerted efforts across various sectors, with technology playing a crucial role. Our focus should be on leveraging new technologies to meet national goals, managing risks, and maintaining excellent customer service. As regulations, competition, and customer preferences change, we must adapt our models and protect customer data. Key areas of discussion at FIBAC are planned to include digital banking innovations, fintech advancements, support for MSMEs, risk management, compliance, deposit mobilization, and emerging topics like technology and climate risk. The event will feature experts from various fields, and their insights are expected to help us to shape a roadmap for the prosperous India. I wish you all an outcome-oriented conference over the next 2 days. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, it's an honor and privilege for me to invite our guest of honor, Shri M. Nagaraju, Secretary DFS, for his keynote address. Welcome, sir.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. M. Rao, Chairman IBA, and Dr. Anish Shah, President FICCI, Mr. Srinivas Sethi, CMD SBI, and Mr. Sunil Mehta, Chief Executive IBA, and all the senior bankers and other government officers, the media. I think all of you know that I just recently joined. So I think this is third week going for me. And some of you were past friends in my previous role in the Ministry of Coal, where I was deeply involved in the energy sector. In fact, when this invitation was extended, I was very happy to come to Mumbai, the financial capital, so that I'll be able to meet and then get feedback on what lies ahead for the financial sector in the country. I'm very glad actually this year's FIBAC is also jointly organized by FICCI and IBA. And I was told that this is the 19th year. This actually huge congratulations to both the organizations for bringing together all of our entire industry and the sector together so that we'll be able to deliberate and understand the vision and the objectives as well as challenges that we face in the financial sector. I think all of us know that the overall theme of the conference, Banking for Viksit Bharat, is actually quite contemporary in the sense that Government of India and all the ministries, and including the Honorable Prime Minister who has given laid out the roadmap for Viksit Bharat 2047, actually it's quite admirably fits well with that mandate the government has in this country. Now, all of you know that Viksit Bharat 2047 represents the government's ambitious vision to transform the nation into a developed country by the centenary of India's independence in 2047. It compasses diverse facets of development such as economic prosperity, social advancement and inclusion, environmental sustainability, and effective governance. While this vision underscores the critical juncture at which India currently stands, but realizing this vision demands unwavering dedication, a firm belief in India's progress and outstanding, and also the belief in the potential talents and capabilities of India's youth, women, and vulnerable people. The Union Budget, I think all of you are aware, Union Budget 24-25, supported strongly the Viksit Bharat Vision 2047. And it has elaborated certain key themes. Garib, Mahila, Yuv, and Annadata are the highest priorities of Viksit Bharat 2047. One of the foundation stones for the Viksit Bharat is a strong and resilient financial system. Within the Indian financial system, banks account for nearly 60% of the total flow of credit to the economy. Even though several other revenues, such as bond and equity markets, have developed in the past, but banks continue to be a major source of funding for the Indian economy. Banks and financial institutions have a vital role in fostering economic growth and development by offering capital and financial services at affordable rates and empowering the businesses and individuals to thrive. Indian banks have an honor and undisputable responsibility in advancing the agenda of inclusive growth, which is fundamental to the economic and social development of the country. With the mass financial inclusion programs, banks are reaching out to the underserved and marginalized sections of the society, empowering MSMEs, bolstering renewable energy initiatives, and facilitating access to education and healthcare. Over the last 5 years, the overall bank credit to the economy has grown at a CAGR of, I think, about 11%, 10.982. As Government of India is targeting the GDP to reach 30 trillion in 2047 from the existing current GDP of 3.7 trillion, we all have important role to play. Now, I think the PMJDY, I think all of you know, PMJDY including the JAM Trinity have played important role in bringing together all the unserviced, underserviced and remote areas into the banking system. We celebrated recently, Honorable Prime Minister spoke to some beneficiaries, a decade of PMGDY. In fact, that has brought a country from 35% when it was launched to 80% this year. And we want to actually saturate everybody in the country who can actually have a bank account. That's very important for achieving the goals of Viksit Bharat 2047. Now, along with this, the government also in the recent past has launched several schemes like Pradhan Mantri Kaushal Vikas Yojana for skill development, PM Vishwakarma Yojana, which is now actually we are prioritizing our efforts for artisans and craftsmen, Stand Up India, Pradhan Mantri Mudra Yojana, and Prime Minister Street Vendor Scheme, Atmanirbhar Nidhi. And all these schemes, the primary objective is to ensure the people who are not part of the credit, the financial system are brought, and then their credit is extended to them so that they will be able to have regular income and then contribute to the progress of the country. CapEx, in fact, CapEx also the banks are playing. Banks, we are the, apart from the budgetary support, which is about 45%, banks are actually contributing about 25% of entire CapEx in the country. Banks were providing financing for large-scale projects such as roads, ports, airports, and other big economic development projects, creating a lot of opportunities for everyone. And the national infrastructure pipeline also played an important role, and the banks actually had drawn the projects from this pipeline. Now, recently, I think everybody knows that 2 years ago we launched the 21-22. Now, FID also, as a DFI, the government has financed and started. Actually, this in the remarkable period of 1.5 years, NAFID is actually doing extremely well in identifying new projects and areas. for financing and also taking a risk actually. Now the other thing which I was not able to attend last week, this week, the fintech industry. The fintech, the difference between the finance and fintechs actually is evaporating over time. And both actually have to complement each other, both to strengthen and also to reach out. Now banks also taken serious efforts in fintech thing. Of course, the cyber security threats, our firewalls, all those things we will maintain. But we need to leverage very clearly the fintech potential that is available to reach out to the last member in the society. And then the fintech, I think all of you know, it was built on the public digital information systems that we have been built in the country. The digital public infrastructure is the backbone which I actually quite connected everybody. In fact, in advanced economies, including US, doesn't have so much public digital infrastructure, which has brought large segment of population into financial system. The India stack is actually a great story. If you look at it, the story of India stack is actually a great story for all of us. Now we are actually building on that. I think UPI has done great wonders, and the last week the Governor RBI has also said that ULI we would like to bring. And a similar portal we have, Jan Samad portal, where we would like to connect all the beneficiaries of the government schemes to come onto the single portal, Jan Samad, where the banks will be able to provide credit to the beneficiaries. But while this is, the story on this side is very good, but I think we also have to be careful in some of the areas. With greater thrust on technology and across platforms and institutions, banks need to be very careful on the cyber threats emanating from the system and be agile to tackle them in time. And focus on compliance to ensure systems are strengthened to mitigate operational risk. And considering the likely gradual acceleration of the adverse impact of the rapid climate change across the world, including India, I think we need to also be conscious of the risk and build our portfolios accordingly into the credit framework to ensure that adequate safeguards, including capital to absorb the impact, are put in place. Green financing, I think India, we need to take a little more initiative on the green financing. I think we need here, IBA can actually look at this green financing potential so that we can actually reduce environmental impact, adverse environmental impact through green financing and promote better infrastructure projects. The government has recently floated some new schemes and then banks, for the benefit of the people, I think banks need to focus on implementation of these things. One is home loan product for informal segment with the minimal or no documented income. I think capturing the digital presence, I think that could be the way to go about this. And assessment models for MSMEs based on digital footprints and cash flows. A model education loan scheme. This also we wanted to have a single portal for across the banking sector so that will be the students will be able to access. I'm aware that India's robust banking system is getting ready to meet the credit needs of the Viksit Bharat, well equipped to underwrite big ticket loans, supporting bank business, integrating ESG criteria into their investment and lending decisions, promoting financial inclusion and literacy, and also to be among the most recognized global players and promote trade and investments in Indian rupees. As the financial sector evolves, it is imperative for banks to maintain their dedication to support economic development and creating opportunities for Viksit Bharat. I also understand that 2 days events of FIBAC through various sessions, will deliberate on how the banks and industry could be playing important role in invigorating the country to Viksit Bharat. I wish the conference all success. Now, these are my written remarks. Now, let me speak. While everybody knows, since 1991, when the financial sector was opened up, the country has reached a tremendous stage now. From the way the sector was opened up in 1991 till now, one is, of course, the reach, the brick and mortar structure we have created all over the country is tremendous. While the per-branch average is very, very still high in countries like US and Europe, India is not far behind. In fact, we bridge that divide by going digital. The digital public infrastructure that has been created since 14, in fact, a little low before that, has enabled everyone to be connected. Now, we have huge population. We are the #1 populated country in the world, and we'll be maybe stabilizing at 1.6, 1.65. Now, we have large number of population still in the low income brackets and middle income brackets, and then their aspirations are huge because of given the information technology, information system that are existing today. Everybody is connected, everybody has aspirations. The material aspirations and then higher levels of satisfactions. I think banking community need to take that into account on how do we meet those aspirations. 2047 Viksit Bharat goals, they are vast across all sectors. The banking is the key. Banking is the base on which everything will be built. And then in our endeavor to provide more credit, we should actually never think of compromising our standards of risk. I think we need to be very careful, very agile in building very robust credit risk assessment systems so that the banking system is strong. We were actually calculating, I was talking to the chairman SBI, to reach the level the government has on the 2047, the economy, what kind of credit flow we require, both banking as well as the government, all the institutions together. The huge potential, in fact, it's huge. For that, all the banking community, both private and public sector, need to have adequate capital adequacy. I think that is the key. We need to build systems and build innovations within ourselves to ensure that we have adequate capital to meet the credit demands of future generations. And we also need to provide, and people are coming up, in fact, even housing, infrastructure needs will be going to be multiplied. Okay. And a lot of infrastructure that we have built in the past is aging, and we need to actually replace. Now, the MSME is one area actually we need to focus. I think many of you must have gone through. In my previous job, we are actually concerned about how the MSMEs actually faltered in the country. While we have almost about 4 lakh, actually 40 million, little bit more than 40 million MSMEs registered, we still actually only 40% of them are actually into the formal financial system. And imagine if at least we are able to step up that to 80% or 70%, the impact it will have, because the SME is already contributing about 30% of our GDP, and employment is almost about 40%. Countries like Taiwan, Vietnam, including South Korea, their economies were built based on the SMEs. I think all of us know, those who have studied international, the development, we are all aware, small SME groups actually have very high presence, not only in the domestically in their economies, but also internationally. We need to do that. Here also, we have the potential. We have a vast network of engineering colleges and technological institutions in the country now. In the last 15 years, we have built it. And we have youth with us. And unless we ensure they are connected early stage. Now we have a large number of startups. In the startup economy ecosystem is again very big. But we are not able to sustain that startup economy, and we will be able to have risk. We need to identify, we need to educate the startup ecosystem from the colleges and universities itself, and encourage the banking community need to take risk at the initial stage of startup economy to ensure the younger generation will be able to dream and do something big in their life. And that is what actually going to provide employment to large number. It's not going to be, since I came from energy sector now, we accept the coal mining where it provides a lot of employment. If you set up, let's say, thermal power plant, the number of people that will be required to manage a thermal power plant may not be more than 500. Even a big plant, even if you say 1500 megawatt, construction time, yes, we require some manpower, but now once the construction is completed, sustainable employment generating activity is very, very limited in large number of industries nowadays. Because if they are dependent on the manpower, they may not be efficient. They may not be productive. They need to be very efficient to compete in the world, and therefore less manpower, more automation, more systems. But SME sector is the one where actually can provide a lot of employment. We need to address that. Again, to ensure our population is satisfied, there is no dissatisfaction in them, there is no unrest, and they are productively utilized. These are important for the stability and peace of the society and the progress of the country. I am very glad. In fact, IBA has been one of the, let me put it this way, industry representative, working with the government as well as the banking community to provide a lot of solutions and also come up innovative ideas and strengthening the financial system. And FICCI, I have been associated with FICCI, not with the current DZ FICCI, but I have been associated with FICCI like the last 20 years. They have also been doing very well in the non-banking sector too. And their partnership, I think, is very good for the industry. And I wish your deliberations in the today and tomorrow will be fruitful, lead to India becoming more developed and more vibrant and also more secure country in the world. Thank you very much. I also thank both of you for giving me the opportunity to speak to all of you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Now, I would like to request Shri Sunil Mehta, Chief Executive IBA, to convey thanks to our guest of honor.
We are all aware that our guest of honor, Shri M. Nagaraju ji, Secretary DFS, has recently taken over the charge of Department of Financial Services, which takes care of the entire financial sector, right from insurance, banking, NBFCs, entire sector. And while sending an invitation to him, I was not very sure because I thought he has recently joined. He may not recognize what the role this IB and FICCI plays into the economic development. But to my happiness, the type of positive response I got from him, not only in accepting an invitation, but going into nitty-gritties and sparing his valuable time to address us today. Thank you, sir, for accepting our invitation and being here. You very rightly articulated about the role banking sector has already played in financial inclusion by pursuing JAM Trinity. We have also started realizing the importance of ESG framework and you directed us for green financing. For your information, sir, IB has a standing committee on ESG framework in which we issues of uniform standards for the banking industry to adopt green financing, and the ESG framework is being discussed and deliberated. IB is also organizing the webinars and the knowledge series and the capacity building programs in collaboration with the various international and the national institutions, so that the awareness in understanding of the environmental risk, working with the government in creating the taxonomy, and creating a roadmap for adoption of these standards in line with the SEBI requirement, RBI requirement, as well as for our contribution in reducing the carbon emission and creating a better society for the future. So we have started working on it, and we will take your guidance very seriously in pursuing these green energy initiatives being taken by the government. You also gave us an insight. You not only spoke from your own written statement, but from your heart, and said that what is the need for providing the assistance to the startups, recognizing them early, and the financing to the MSME sector. These are the segments which will not only generate employment, but will contribute in the ultimate aim of Viksit Bharat by 2047. The banking sector is committed to us, and today we have the opportunity of interacting with our fellow industrialists in FICCI and the players, so that we can find a common goal and roadmap to achieve the aspirations of the government narrated by you. I'm thankful to the team FICCI, headed by Chairman Anishaji and represented by DG Jyotivich, for wholeheartedly collaborating in this event and providing us a platform where both the members of both the institutions interact, brainstorm, and find how do we collaborate and contribute in the government mission of converting India as a Viksit Bharat by 2047, when we attain an age of 100 years of our democracy. Thanks to the Chairman SBI and Chairman IBA for their continued support in not only organizing this event, but sharing their perspective with us. And of course, to the members of FICCI and IBA and the media and all those who are present here, to give us this opportunity to find a common way forward for attaining the national goal. Thank you all, and thank you, sir, for your presence here.
Thank you, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, we will take 5 minutes to reset the dais before we start the first panel discussion.